I want to run through a simple technique that we use with our clients that may be suffering from things like anxiety and depression. And I've spoken about this before in relation to coherence in what's called the autonomic nervous system. But this breathing exercise is quite a simple breathing exercise. We just breathe in for 5 seconds and out for 5 seconds. No real hold. It's just moving us into a rhythmic pattern, which is going to impact what's called our heart rate variability, or HRV. And the more this HRV can start to increase, that's going to directly tie to the autonomic nervous system and bring in balance between these two branches of the system, being the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. And I want to show you just an image to sort of explain a little bit more on how this impacts our neurology in the brain. So this image is one that we use with all our clients. We've taken it from the HeartMath Institute. And when we move into stress or incoherence, our heart rate variability actually starts to look like this when we actually measure it. It's very disordered and incoherent. And I've got other videos that I show you our clients' readings on that. So I won't go into it too much right now. But when we move into a simple breathing, such as 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, we start to get, start to get this smooth sinusoidal wave impact. Now, that, as far as fluctuations to the brain, is hitting various points through our brain stem, the medulla, and that's helping with the autonomic nervous system and just regulation there as well. But then more importantly, it's hitting through to around this area of the brain, not in this image, but we've got the amygdalas. And then it's getting through to the outer cortex, which in this image, it's keeping it nice and simple, just saying that's our thinking brain. So when the amygdalas get this nice coherent fluctuation through our heartbeats, then that's signaling to the amygdalas, hey, there's no stress there, there's no danger, and we can sort of down-regulate. Now, in stress, it's totally the opposite, and these amygdalas are getting this, hey, stay vigilant, stay hyperactive, stay aware, there's danger out there. And obviously we can have these panic attacks or anxiety sort of symptoms. So moving our heart rate variability into a nice rhythmic flow and our breath into a rhythmic flow. And what we've found is someone that can draw their attention inward and slowing their breath is 2 steps that are counterintuitive to the stress response. Obviously, in the stress response, the last thing we're going to do is slow our breathing to 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. So that's one step. But then the second step to be counterintuitive to the stress response, the last thing I'm going to do if something on the outside of me is dangerous, I'm not going to turn my attention inward to the center of my chest. So these 2 steps are counterintuitive to the stress response. And when we can start to move coherence in to these 2 branches, where there's a nice flow of upregulation, downregulation, now we're having an impact, and whatever we do through repetition, we're going to get really good at, and whatever we do through repetition is going to become subconscious. So now, after a period of time of training this way of doing breath work, now we've trained our autonomic nervous system to be balanced and to be coherent. So if a stressful experience occurs on the outside of us, we can bring ourselves back into order and balance rather quickly. So give it a go, turning your attention inward to the center of the chest and slowing the breathing to around 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Let me know if you've got any questions.